Hello everyone, it's Cassie Trask and welcome back to the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. Today we're going to be using the Christmas Big Messages along with our Star Treat Box. This is the Big Messages Christmas set and it also has a matching die to go along with it. It's really cool, great for a lot of different cards and in this case treat boxes. We're also going to be using the Star Treat Box. Take a look at that. It folds into that cute little star. I played around and it was so simple to put together, and these are going to be adorable, and they're actually pretty easy to mass produce. So let's get started making a treat box, and then in the end I'm going to show you how you can turn it into an ornament too. So I did want to share with you that it can be two of them can be cut out of one piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So I cut mine out of an A2 piece, which was 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. But yes, you can get two out of one piece. It is faint, but you can see all of the score lines that are in this die or what it gives you. And then these pieces right here are those little marks, those X's, are where you're going to put your adhesive. So they make it so simple to put these together. So let's get started with stamping this. I'm going to pull out the smaller sentiment in here, one of the smaller ones that says Season's Greetings, and we're going to stamp that on the front of our star. I'm going to put this into my MISTI just to make sure that I don't stamp it incorrectly, or at least that I get the impression that I'm wanting. And so I'm going to line that up in there in between those score lines that are hard to see on camera but are very easy to see in person. And then we'll use some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink and we will stamp Season's Greetings. I'm also going to stamp out both of the little holly berry and leaves, and we're going to use some Memento Tuxedo black with those, and we're going to stamp that onto some Copic friendly cardstock. The Memento ink is perfect for Copic markers, and you just want to make sure that you have a Copic friendly paper. We picked out 4 Copics. We had the G07 and we had the G29 for our leaves. I'll start with the G07. And then we'll come in with that G29 and just put a little bit of shadowing and shading on each one of those kind of down at the bottom of each leaf. For our reds, we have 2 more colors. We have some R27 and we also have some R89. And those are pretty different. So I'm going to put down that R27 first. We'll add a dot of the R89 and then I will come back in with that R27 just to blend that out a little bit because that is a little bit of a contrast, which can be great, but I wanted that to be blended out a little more. All right, before we die cut those out, I want to do a little splatter, so I'm using a piece of Post-it tape over my sentiment, and then I'm going to bring in the Dina Wakley Glossy Spray in white. This stuff is my absolute favorite for white acrylic splatter. It dries really pretty quickly compared to many of the others that I've tried, and so this is by far my favorite. And so I splattered that all over that background. I'll peel off that Post-it tape because I didn't, like I said, didn't want to get it on the sentiment. And then we're just going to hit this with our heat tool. It really does not take very long. So hitting that with the heat tool, now just making sure everything is dry and it is good to go. So now we can start bending along those score lines. You don't want to go too crazy at first. You just want to start bending, just work it a little bit. And because they're not supposed to be like completely bent. They just need to be slightly bent so that the box can go together. But it is pretty simple. Just follow the score lines. And we'll just work our way all the way around. The middle one, I guess if one was going to be difficult, is probably the most difficult, but it's really not. So these are just so simple. I can see mass producing these maybe for a classroom or for your grandkids or your kids or whatever the case may be. It's just such a cute little treat box. I just want to make sure everything's going to bend correctly together, and it does. So now we're going to bring in our adhesive. I'm going to use some strong double-sided adhesive. This is the Scor-Pal double adhesive in the size 1/4 inch. And so I'm just putting that on all of the spots that have an X on it. And I love that Lawn Fawn did that. It just makes it so simple. You just don't have to guess where you're going to put your adhesives. And it's only on a few of those on the one side. All right, then we can start peeling away the release paper for our double-sided adhesive. Now I'm a little neurotic, so while I trust that this Scor-Pal tape is going to hold because I have used this tape for years, I also want to make sure that it doesn't come apart at all and it adheres pretty quickly. So I am going to use some liquid glue as well. What I find when I use both, which you don't have to, but when I use both, is that the double-sided adhesive causes it to stick quickly, and then the liquid glue just makes sure that it is not going anywhere. It's basically like just extra insurance. Because who knows how this recipient is going to manhandle the box or how I am. So I just like to make sure that it's not going anywhere. All right, we have one more spot, so we'll just peel off that release paper, use a little bit more of our liquid glue, and then we can adhere down that final side. You leave the last one open so that you can put your treats inside, which this thing will hold a couple of fun-size candy bars, so that's great. I just try not to have that stuff around the house because I will eat it. I will show you in a picture in the end that I did put a couple pieces of candy out that just to let you know they fit in there perfectly. All right, so our little box is all assembled, and now it's ready to add that last bit of embellishment. So we'll bring in the dies that go along with it, and we'll tack that down with a little bit of Post-it tape and then run that through our die cutting machine. And we have these adorable holly berry and leaves that are ready to be adhered to the front of our box. And so I'll just use a little bit of that liquid glue to adhere those down to the front. And then this box is ready to be filled with goodies. You could also fill it with little bags of embellishments if you want to give them to your crafty friends. How fun would that be? How cute. So I love it. So fun. And now I just want to show you that you can also turn this into an ornament. So I did make one with the blue, and I stamped and embossed some white ink. And now I'm using some dusty rose twine, and I'm just going to tie a knot right at the end. You need the knot because that's what's going to hold it in place. So I'll put that on the inside where you would put your treat normally. And then I'm going to use the double-sided adhesive and some more liquid glue. And then we'll just ensure that that stays put. But now you have a really fun little ornament that you can give out as well. So you do have options with this cute little treat box. And I love it. It was so fun to put together. I can see making lots of these for the neighbors and such. Love it so much. So that's going to finish off our video for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it makes you want to get a little inky, maybe make some treats for your friends, neighbors, kids, grandkids, for everybody. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And be sure to check out all that ScrapbookPal has going on over on their blog, Facebook page, and Instagram for more crafty inspiration. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you soon.